To Transformation TV. My name is Robin Chodak, and I am your host. And I just want to say to you that I really love being a part of Transformation TV because it's about transformation, and that's what my message is about. My message is about transformation, living and loving life after loss, because I lost my husband to suicide. So I'm in alignment with this station, and I am blessed to be able to interview some amazing guests. There are many teachers on Transformation TV. You can find them at www.transformationtv. But today I have a very special guest. Actually, I have a fabulous guest, and that's part of the title of her book. I love the title of Angela Cain's book. It's called From Fear to Fabulous. And actually, Angela and I have a lot in common, but we're going to get into that and talk about that. And I just want to introduce you to Angela. She is a women's empowerment coach and a transformational coach. So I'm going to bring Angela on right now. Hello, Angela.
Hi, Robin. Thank you for inviting me today. It's really great to chat to you again. It's
Well,
always interesting talking to you.
well, thank you so much. And it's great. It's great to have you here, Angela, from the UK. You're quite a distance from me. I'm in the Midwest.
Yes, it is quite a distance, and I've got lots of friends in the US
Oh,
and a couple of clients as well. So, yeah, and I did used to live there too. I lived in Texas for a while, so
okay.
it's very special to me, the US.
Yes, yes. Well, we're just happy to have you here with us. And like I spoke earlier, I love that title, From Fear to Fabulous. And I know that you and I both have many things in common, and one of them
Mm,
is our losses. And
mm.
if you'd like to talk about that a little bit, about your loss and how that has led to your transformation.
Yeah, absolutely. It did. I didn't realize it for many years, Robin, but I lost both my parents when I was in my late teens. And so the fear that set in after that, I've sort of, well, I was an orphan, really. I had a brother who was 3 years younger than me, and we were just sort of left to our own devices. And I remember waking up the day after my mum had died in total disbelief, thinking, oh my God, we really are on our own. We had relatives and things, but actually mum and dad were no longer there. And it was the most frightening experience. And I feel like I sort of lived my life in a daze for many years. I wasn't, well, I certainly wasn't conscious at all, speaking in what I now know as consciousness. And I just went from, I ambled along through life, very unhappy. Constantly things were going wrong. I got into one bad relationship after another, and I was a single parent, and life was a real struggle at times. I did have some happy moments in there, and of course, having my son was the most wonderful thing that ever happened to me. And but a lot of the time, it was real struggle,
Sure, sure.
heartache, fear, pain, and I really didn't know how to get out of that cycle. I just thought at that time that, oh my God, I'm so unlucky. All these awful things keep happening to me, and why do these things keep happening to me? I did feel at that time very much like a victim of circumstance, and I felt very unfortunate, and I just was wishing and hoping that someone would come along and change my life. And
Hmm.
of course, that someone, as we know, had to be me.
Yeah, yeah. And Angela, you said when you were speaking, you said something that really stuck with me in the beginning when you said you were in a daze, because that's exactly how I felt when
Mm,
my husband died by suicide. And I know
yeah,
many people watching this, my followers, my friends, they have felt that way. And just as you
yeah,
have, when you have a tragic loss, at that
Mm,
time you are in a daze and
mm.
you don't think that you're going to ever get out of that
That's right. You don't.
time. But you have learned how to do that, and I have learned how to do that.
Mm.
And that's why you're doing what you're doing, which is so beautiful, helping other women and helping others. And your book, it's interesting because you have seven steps, and I have 10 steps. And I bet some of our I don't maybe some of our steps are the same.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they are, Robin. And it took me years and years. And then eventually I had to find, I had to really sit down and think about, and so as soon as I started at some point waking up and realizing that it was me, that, perhaps it was me that was causing this. Perhaps it had to be something to do with me. And I don't know where these thoughts came from. And then I started to look deep within myself.
Sure.
And then I went on a trajectory of study and finding out more and more and more about myself. Got myself some years later. I got myself a mentor, and I've continued to study sort of metaphysics and spirituality and human potential, really, for on and off for 20 years.
Mhm.
And it's completely changed, revolutionized my life.
Sure. And Angela, those are the same steps the same path that I went down as well. And I love when you're talking about that victim role because this is how many people feel. They get
Yeah.
into that victim role. So can you maybe talk about how you were able to move out of that victim role?
Well, as I said, I realised that I'd actually got a job teaching ballroom dancing. So I'm a ballroom dancing teacher as well, and so I was working. I happened to get a job doing something that I loved, and I was at a training seminar in Kansas City, and they had different speakers on, and this particular speaker one day was talking about how you can change your life by changing how you think. And I'd already started to sort of look at myself and think, what's going on in me, and I don't feel right, and this can't be right. I can't, this life is not supposed to be this difficult. And so I'd already sort of opened myself up a little bit to divine intervention, or whatever you want to call it. And I heard this guy speak that day, and oh my God, I walked out of that seminar a different person than the one that walked in. And as soon as I got home, I started studying. I was sending off for correspondence courses, going to libraries, looking for various books, because, of course, the internet was not quite, just maybe just about starting, or not quite, but so it was very different then to be able to find information, not like it is now. It's so easy at our fingertips. And as soon as I started studying and studying the self, the nature, well, metaphysics is that, the nature of reality, and the study of the self. And as soon as I started really getting deep into that, then everything started to make sense. And
Sure.
that then took me, because I realized that, whilst you're in that victim role, that you have to look for someone else to help you and to fix you.
Right.
And when you get out of that, if you take responsibility, and if you're willing to take responsibility, which, it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, Robin, that, everything that's happened in your life, not so much the circumstances, but the way you are, is down to you. And you have to take responsibility for that. And it's easier to blame someone else and say it's her fault, it's his fault, it's my parents' fault, it's my husband's fault. But when you decide that you want to change, and you decide to take your power back, and you take responsibility for your own life and your own actions, your own behavior, then that takes you immediately out of victimhood into a place of empowerment, because you're in the driver's seat then of your own life.
Yes, yes. And I love that what you said, take your that's key, what you said.
Mm,
Take your power back, because I believe that we already have that power within us. And
yes.
it's just it's blocked now from the tragedy, from different things
Yeah.
that has happened in our lives. And like
Hmm.
you said, once you take that power back, that's when you can start moving forward. And
Yeah.
that's what you do when you're working with your clients. You're helping them
Absolutely.
get that.
Yeah.
And I love that one of the things I was watching your teaching segment, and I want to tell everyone, if you haven't watched Angela's teaching segment, you can go on Transformation TV and watch it. It's about 40 minutes, 45
Mm.
minutes. Really a wonderful segment, and it's just an introductory to her boot camp. And you can get her boot camp, and it's as if you're getting this coaching with Angela, and she'll teach you these 7 steps. And I loved what you call them, 7 steps that are running your life. Is that what it is? Running your
That
life?
are ruining your life. That are ruining your life. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've been able to discover some of those
Mm.
steps, and then you teach those to the people, right? Your clients.
Yes. Yes. Because as you know, Robin, we cannot change our clients. They can only change themselves. What we can do is give them the tools and the knowledge and the guidance to be able to do that. And once they get on that journey, I found that, when they start to feel a little bit better, which is what happened with me, and I'm sure with yourself as well, that you think, oh wow, I'm really noticing I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting not to criticize myself as much as I used to. You start to notice when you have that little voice in your head constantly telling you you're hopeless and you can't do this and you can't do that and nothing is ever going to work and all of that. When we start to notice all of that, then we can start to change it. And
Yeah,
that's really the key, isn't it? Awareness is
right,
the key.
right. And I love that you talk about you. I don't know if you coined this. It was a syndrome. It's I'm
Yeah, the I'm not enough syndrome. Yeah, because oh my God, Robin, I'm sure you found this too, that so many women, and maybe men too, but I don't work with men very much, so I don't know. I can't speak as much, from as much experience, but so many women have this and they don't realize it initially. And but I had it massively. You just feel like you're not good enough. You judge yourself, you compare yourself to other people all the time, and you fall short in your own opinion. And usually the hardest critic and the hardest judge we are is with ourselves.
right,
And when we stop doing that, then it allows our own worth to rise, our own esteem to rise, instead of us constantly bashing it down like we do day in, day out, with the negative mind chatter that we tell ourselves all the time.
yes, and that's exactly what I talk about too, Angela. Like I said, we have so much in common, and we could have written our books together.
We could. Maybe we should do that one day, Robin.
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe we could write a book about dancing, because
Yeah.
I'm a tango dancer.
Yes, I know. You told me that. That is fantastic.
And part of it, and I know for you, it's that dancing that helps you move forward, right? Finding things that you love to do,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
helps you move forward.
Well, dancing is my other, apart from my family, of course, dancing is my other passion in life. And my husband and I have a dance school in the UK. And even this morning, I went to somebody's house. Somebody contacted us a few weeks ago and asked if we could go to someone's house and teach them to dance. And I said, well, it's not something we normally do, but this lady was trying to find a special birthday present for her father. Her parents. And so because it was a special birthday and because she, I thought, what a lovely thought. So I agreed to do it, and I've been going. They've had 3 lessons now. They had the third lesson this morning, and they absolutely love it. And
Oh,
to see the joy on their face every Friday morning, I so look forward to it
yeah,
because the energy is high, we laugh, we joke, and I can see pure joy on the face. It's just wonderful.
sure. No, I am. Hey, it helped me get my life back. So I
Yeah,
talk about dancing quite a bit. I do.
yeah. Yeah, I do recommend dancing to my clients. In fact, one of my clients has taken up dancing. She actually goes to my husband's classes and she absolutely loves it.
Oh,
She's
wonderful.
buzzing when she comes home from there, and she writes to me the following morning to tell me all about it.
Yes, yeah, that's beautiful. So we might have some listeners today that were on the fence about dancing.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. So go, give it a try. You will love it.
exactly. And I know Angela, you talked a little bit in your segment about how our beliefs and
Mm.
how our memories live in ourselves. And I know
Mm.
some people don't really understand that. Would you mind talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was pretty mind blowing to me when I learned this, Robin, and it's because we are energetic beings at the end of the day, aren't we? We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and everything is energy. We are pure energy, and every belief, every thought, every incident that ever happens to us is stored in our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind and body are literally the same thing. And so I read, even, I don't know whether I put it in the book, but I was actually discussing with one of my clients the other day that there's so many stories of how people that have had organ transplants, start taking on really strange behavior. That there was one lady that I read about who was a lady in her mid 60s or something, and she had the heart of a young boy who was about 15 or 16. And as soon as she woke up from her operation and started to come round a little bit, she was demanding burgers and Red Bull, and which was so out of character. And but the most amazing one I've ever heard was it was in one of Wayne Dyer's books, and he talked about a young girl who was about 9 or 10 being she'd been murdered, and her heart was given to a little girl of a similar age, and the little girl was waking up having nightmares, screaming in the middle of the night. And to cut a long story short, her mum took her to a psychiatrist who said, I think she's really remembering something here. And it was somewhere in the US, I'm not sure where. And so they got the police involved, and from the little girl's description, which was so vivid, of the killer, they managed to track him down
Mm,
and arrest him and charge him with murder. So the guy that murdered the girl whose heart she had, she actually was able to lead the police to her killer, which I thought was absolutely incredible. And so, it's obvious that our memories and everything are stored in our cells and in our organs. And I was reading some experiments the other day about heart and brain coherence, and that some studies had been done, and that some volunteers were actually focusing on the double helix, the two strands of DNA, and they could actually change by, I don't know, that it was 25 or 35%, the amount of how much the double helix was wound, whether it was tightly wound or loosely wound, by focusing their intention on that, which is just absolutely mind blowing, I think. And so, really, our beliefs, our thoughts, literally do create everything in our life. And I totally believe we can heal our body by thought alone. I absolutely believe that 100%. It takes such belief and such strong belief, but I do believe it's possible. I know it's possible because I've read so many studies.
right. And science is discovering this more and more about
Yeah,
the interaction between our thoughts and our
Yeah.
and how they interact with our body and disease and so forth.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
even if one wants to believe that they're in the cellular level, well, the good news is that if we've had something that maybe, was damaging, it can be
Mm,
it can be changed.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
news. There's
Yeah.
so many things today from science that we're learning and discovering, and it's all to help us, move beyond these states where we're stuck,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
and that's what you do as well as I do.
Mm,
But I
mm.
love the other thing that you talked about was it was something the strangest
Secret.
happiness. And I was like, what is that? Can you share that? Or is that a secret you can't share with us? Did they have to get this?
No, it was oh gosh, I can't remember his name. One of the first personal development gurus in the 1950s, I think. He called it the strangest secret. And it was really that it was really about that we have so much control over our life that we actually create our reality. And he called it the strangest secret because it's not a secret. It's just that people don't know it. And I still find it incredible in
Mm,
this day and age that people don't know that, but they really don't.
sure, sure. Well, this is what we're trying to do here
Yeah,
on
it is.
TV. You
Yeah,
know, all of the teachers, we're trying to put out information out into the universe. People can hear things maybe for the first time, or maybe
mm,
take them on and look at them differently because this is what we're trying to do, transform, right?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
To the divine
And
nature.
this kind of information is never going to get on mainstream TV, Robin, or not for many, many, many years yet anyway. And so, because all the news want to post is war and murder and all the bad things that go on in the world, and all the good things that go on, of which there are many, never get reported. And so people get brainwashed into believing that the world is a really horrible place. And of course, it is a troubled place at the moment. We can't get away from that. But there is also lots and lots of good people, good things happening that nobody ever gets told about. And so for us, trying to give information to people that, you don't have to be a victim. You don't have to settle for a mediocre life. You can change it if you want to,
Yeah.
but it takes some effort, it takes some investigation, and you need help to do it because none of us can do it on our own.
Yes, yes. And I liked what you said about, yeah, the world, what we're seeing, we watch the media, we watch these TV shows, there's a lot of violence, destruction, but I always say it's your choice. So my husband gets very upset about the news because of things that are happening in the US. And I say you have to choose not
Mm,
to watch that.
got to watch it, yeah.
So it comes back to choice.
It does.
How are you seeing the world? How are you looking at the world? Are you only seeing the negative? There's a lot of beautiful, positive,
Mm,
right?
yeah. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I choose not to watch any news, Robin, and I choose not to watch not to read any newspapers, purely because I don't want to fill my head with all the bad stuff that's going on in the world. And if I can't do anything about it, then I'd rather not know about it because it affects, as you know, it affects your vibration. It makes you depressed. And I don't need that in my life. My vibration needs to be high, my energy needs to be high, so I can show up as the best version of me to help guide my clients to where they want to go.
Right,
So watching depressing news on TV is not something I choose to do.
right, exactly. And it's because you've come to this place, you've been transformed as I have, and once we have gotten to this place, it's as if you never want to go back. Why
Yeah.
would you want to go
Why
back?
would you? Exactly. Why would you? I don't, well, I think also you can never you and I can never not know now what we know, can we? We can't unlearn everything we've learned.
Right.
And
And
so we're always going to have that awareness, even if we slip back
yeah,
occasionally, that we'll remember, oh, well, I know better. So why am I doing this?
right. Yeah. So your clients that come to you, you help them on their journey. Maybe they're in that syndrome mode, right? Or maybe they're feeling that they're invisible. Because I know you talked about that.
Yes, yes. I've had lots of clients that tell me about that they feel nobody notices them, nobody listens to them, nobody takes any notice of them. But I do a process with not all of my clients, but many of them, where we really delve deep into the wound, into the woundings they received in childhood, because these beliefs are formed from the wound. And then if we don't heal them, those beliefs shape and direct our life.
Yes.
And what I like to do with my clients is travel back through the wound consciously this time, looking at everything that's happened, and then we write it down. We can actually see a pattern of events in our life that have recapitulated the wound and confirmed the belief that we're not good enough, that nobody loves us, that we're not meant to have great relationships, or that we're not meant to have a happy life, or whatever that wound has caused in us. And we can then go back and heal it, and
Absolutely.
then it doesn't have to be directing our life anymore.
Yes. Well, and that's the good news is that we have this opportunity to make,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, we have some viewers on, which, hello, we have a couple of viewers watching now. And actually, when I put you side by side on my screen, when we're together, the viewers see us, you're kind of, I wonder if you can scoot over a little bit on your chair because you're kind of cut off. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Oh, perfect. A little more, a little more. Little more. They want to be, well, it's only when we're speaking side by side. They just want to see you, Angela. We just want to see
Is
you.
that okay?
Yeah,
Am I okay here?
that's better. That's better. So this is good. We have some viewers with us, and
Good.
it's great to always have people on Transformation TV with us. And I love what you're teaching, Angela. And this is what we want to let people know, that they can get these teachings on Transformation TV. And
Hmm.
they can learn what you just said, which is so important because so many of us are wounded and we
Oh
don't
boy, are we?
to 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 try to heal those wounds, but they could begin with watching your free teaching segment.
Absolutely. And once even just a little bit of awareness, can make somebody notice when that negative mind chatter starts, and they can realize how badly they talk to themselves on a daily basis, sometimes on an hourly basis sometimes. And criticizing and judging yourself constantly is so bad for you. It's so bad for your self-worth, and it just makes you so unhappy, zaps any confidence that you may have. And it's something that, that's one of the first things I like to do with my clients, is to make them aware of that voice in their head and how they can stop criticizing themselves, and also the impact that that has, on the world around them and on themselves.
Yes, because it's not only on themselves, they get into this vicious cycle. Like
Yeah.
until they become aware of it, they can't change it. But you're absolutely right. It not only affects them, it affects everyone else around them. So you have all this negative energy around.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do work on the valued self with my clients as well, and the impact that we have on our self-esteem, on our self-worth, and how we can start to build on that, and that we are worthy. We are 100% worthy to start with. We don't have to get that. We already are that. We just need to become aware of it.
Yes, absolutely. And your book, you have 7 hidden patterns that you talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know we can't get into them now. I mean, this is just a little intro, to let the viewers understand what you're doing, what you have to offer. But is there maybe one you can talk about? Could you just choose any one and talk?
Um,
So
well, one of the things I talk about is I call it dancing with the shadow. And it's about, as what we've just been talking about, the wound. So when we get wounded early in life, and then from that wound, a belief is formed and a pattern of behavior. And then we can tend to try and hide those feelings and that part of us, that we're ashamed of, that we don't like, if we feel that we're not worthy, or whatever it is. And we tend to stuff these parts of our persona into what Carl Jung called the shadow. And I talk about all the different parts that we have. We have a judge, we have a critic, we have a protector part. We have all these different parts that come into play in our life every day. So this is not about having a personality disorder or anything like that. This is perfectly normal. It's something that we all have. And when we learn about those parts of us that have been stuffed into the shadow, that are actually directing our life, but we don't realize it. Once we start to become aware of those patterns and those parts of us, we can actually bring them into the light, and then they are not directing things as they once were. We're aware of them.
yes,
Once we're aware of something, we have the choice to
yeah,
either do it or not do it.
absolutely. And I loved what you said about it's not a personality disorder, because I think that people, they're not aware of that oftentimes,
Mm,
those emotions, those feelings, their thoughts. And they think, oh my gosh, why do I feel this way? Why am I thinking this? And
exactly.
they get
Yeah.
but what I'm hearing from you, because you work with clients, it's not anything to fear, right?
No, that's right. It's something to actually welcome into the open, because once you do that, then it's not directing your life anymore, unconsciously. Because we have these certain behaviors. If we feel early in life that we're bad or no one likes us, then which is what happened to me, we develop this pleaser part. So I just wanted to please everyone all the time. So my personality, my feelings, my thoughts, my choices were lost and never discussed, because I just had to please everyone else so that they'd like me.
Sure. So would you say that that pleasing part of you was that shadow part of you?
Yes, yes,
So
yeah.
I'm sure there are many people that are going to watch this that could relate to that,
Mm,
because we have
yeah.
the idea that if we can please someone else, that makes us good, right?
Mm, yeah, yeah. Because we learn very early in life, Robin, from our parents, don't we, or our caregivers, what pleases them and what displeases them. And depending on how, what other incidents happen in your life as you grow. I don't actually remember the actual incidents, and you don't need to know the wound, because the wound keeps recapitulating as you grow. But I could see when I did this work initially myself, I could see the behaviors, the patterns, the incidents, and the beliefs that I formed from that was that I have to make everyone like me. I couldn't bear the thought that anyone didn't like me. And now I I hope people like me, but if they don't, that's okay. I'm okay with that. Because in the world that you and I are in, where we're actually speaking out, and what we talk about is quite controversial as well a lot of the time.
Sure.
There are going to be people that are not ready to hear that or don't want to hear it, and may not like it or may criticize us. And that would have put me off doing it once upon a time, but not anymore, because the results that I see in myself and my clients are so important to me that I'm prepared to face the naysayers or the critics or the non-believers, and I'm okay with that now, and I wouldn't have been some years ago.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're all doing here on Transformation TV. You know, we have a voice and we
Yeah.
want making our voice known. But I want to go back just a little bit to the people pleaser, because, you know, in itself, a lot of people think, well, that's not so bad. You know, I'm making people happy. But it becomes a problem when they're sacrificing their own happiness, and
Absolutely.
they're not
Yeah.
anymore. And I think this is good for people to, you know, hear this today, because there's
Yeah.
people that are out there doing that, and it's in itself, it doesn't sound bad, right? Oh, I'm a people pleaser. Doesn't sound, you know, I'm not like, you know, whatever. I'm a people pleaser. It sounds good on the surface, but
Mm.
behind the shadow, in the dark, it's
Yeah.
changing who you
Yeah.
are.
Absolutely, at a fundamental level. And it means, and the message we're giving to ourselves is that, you know, this other person is more important than me. They matter more than I do. Their needs and wants are more important than mine. And that's not the case. And I absolutely believe that we have to put our own needs first, because if we don't do that, if we constantly give and give, there's no balance. You know, we have to be able to receive as well as give. But if we constantly do that and get nothing back, we do become resentful. It's a fact, we do. And resentment is a very bad energy to carry through your life. And I would say to the viewers, you know, notice when you do something, when you say yes, but you really want to say no. Notice that and
Yeah.
think, why am I doing that?
Yeah, that's another thing you talk about in your segment.
Mm,
And
mm.
do you bring that up in your book as well? Is it in the Fear to Family's book about?
I think it is. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the same.
Because it's important, Robin, and it's an easy way for people to notice. You know, do I do that? I do that. I do things that I don't really want to do because I don't like to say no.
Sure.
And that message that we're giving to our subconscious is not one of empowerment. It's one of, well, that other person then matters more than you do.
Right.
And that is not good for our self-esteem.
No, and your message is about empowerment. You're an
Yeah.
empowerment coach. You know, my message is about transformation, living the life I love, living the life you love, you know, and this is all of us. We have these messages. They're all
Yeah.
about hope and transformation.
Mm.
And it's wonderful that you're doing what you're doing, Angela, and in teaching, you know, these steps.
Thank you. Well, I'm so passionate about this, Robin, about helping women, because I know how I felt for so many years, and now I feel completely different. I don't recognize the person I used to be. I've never been happier in my life. I used to fear getting older, and now I don't fear it at all, because I feel that I will just thrive more and more. The older I get, I'll have more knowledge, I'll have more to offer the world, and I I just feel absolutely blessed to be where I am today. And I know that, you know, other women can feel like that too. You
Yes,
don't have to settle for second best.
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And, you know, your people can trust you because you have had that tragedy, losing your parents, and you went through your recovery and all your training and your study, and now you have a message and you can help them. So to me, it's always easier to trust someone that's actually been through an experience and came out on the other end, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why clients come to you. So,
Yes.
you know, if anyone's listening now and you've had a tragedy in your life, Angela, look at her, okay? Look at myself. Look at other teachers on Transformation TV. We can help you. You know, if it's not me, it's not Angela, it will be someone else. There's many people out there that can help. But Angela's teachings are, you know, if you're in that place where you want to become fabulous.
Well, that's how I feel, you know, most days, Robin. I get up in the morning, I look at my diary, I look out my window at my beautiful scenery of green hills and fields and sheep, and I just think, wow, I am so lucky.
Yes. So, Angela, is there anything that, I mean, we did cover a lot of things and we could just keep going on, but I'm wondering, is there anything, I mean, we covered the people pleaser, we covered saying yes. Is there anything else that, you know, we want to, you know, let someone know about your teaching or something I did not cover?
There's so many things, Robin, isn't there, that you and I can, as you say, we could be here till midnight talking. But I think I would say to people, anybody watching this or anyone catching the replay, don't be afraid to go on that journey of self-discovery. Most people don't know themselves, I found. I didn't know myself at all. Most people don't know themselves. They really don't. And when we start to look deeper within and really, you know, look at yourself at a soul level, your whole life begins to change. And I don't know of any other way of transforming than doing the inner work necessary to get yourself to the other side. I don't think there is another way. We have to do that work on ourselves, and people, you know, would rather close the box, and they don't want to go in there because it's dark and it's scary. But yes, it is, but it's so worth it. It
Yeah.
is so worth it because it changes your life like night and day.
Yes, it is. And it is a journey of self-discovery. That's absolutely what it is. But the great thing is the journey doesn't end.
That's right. Yeah. But both you and I are on this journey still. And, you know, I learn new things every day. I wake up in the morning and I think, oh, I wonder who will contact me today. What exciting things will happen today?
Right.
You know, and people can live their lives like that. They don't have to live in misery and fear and worry and stress and pleasing everyone all the time.
Right. And, you know, and it's not, you know, it's not a Pollyanna life, you know, I mean, yes,
Absolutely, it's not. Yeah.
I can't,
It is about being real and you know, and feeling your feelings, dealing with your pain and emotions, but not living in the, you know, as much as possible being in the present moment, because people worry about what's going to happen next week and what's going to happen next month and what if I get the sack and all of that. That is unnecessary stress. You really don't need to worry about that. You really need to focus on what's going on today.
yeah. And that's another thing that you talk about in your book and in your segment about how you can, you know, you have tools to help them release the anxieties.
Mm. Yeah, energy techniques, and they, you know, they are scientifically proven now to work, as many of the things we teach are scientifically proven. So there is no doubt anymore, Robin, that, you know, mind creates matter. There is no doubt about that anymore. It's not a philosophy anymore, it's a scientific fact.
Yes. And what I always say is, you know, it's always these things that I have learned on my journey are true for me because I have experienced them. But
Mm.
the great news is that now science is backing us up.
It
Exactly
is.
everything
Yeah,
we're talking about today. Science
it
is
is.
backing this up. So when I, you know, talk to people, I say this is not airy fairy.
Yeah.
Not airy fairy. This is real stuff. You can transform. You can change.
Yeah.
You can go visit Angela Cain on www.transformationtv and watch her free teaching segment, get her boot camp. I mean, she's an amazing woman. Everything that you've been through, Angela, in all your studies, and you have a ballroom dance studio. That is amazing.
I mean, I don't do much in there anymore. I can't take credit for that. My husband runs that, but because I'm too busy with this work. But I do still, as you know, keep my hand in. I was teaching this morning.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, if I come to the UK, I want to come to your studio. And
Absolutely, we're more than welcome.
oh, that's wonderful. So if you don't have anything else to say, I think we'll end for now. I think we got a lot to cover.
I think we did. And yes, there's always more to say, isn't there, Robin? But as you say, we can go on and on all night. So it's been really great chatting with you.
Thank you very much for interviewing with us today, Angela, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Robin. The same to you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Transformation TV. In 2 weeks, we'll have another wonderful guest. Bye for now.